Did you know? Rick and Morty is based on a short animation that spoofed Back to the Future. The short was made by Rick and Morty's co-creator Justin Roiland before he was contacted by co-creator Dan Harmon. The short featured a day in the life of two characters who were intentional ripoffs of Doc Brown and Marty McFly from Back to the Future. The skit was originally designed as a jab at big companies who sent out cease and desist letters. Roiland stated on his website, "I had nothing to lose, and my original intention was to call this Back to the Future, the new official Universal Studios cartoon featuring the new Doc Brown and Marty McFly, and then I'd just sit back and wait for the letter from their lawyers to arrive. It's actually why it's so filthy. I was just looking to troll a big studio." The desire to troll big corporations came from an earlier project by Roiland for the website Channel 101. In 2005, Roiland's show House of Cosby's debuted, which followed a man who creates dozens of Bill Cosby clones from one of the actor's hairs. Because the show used Cosby's name and likeness so prominently, it attracted the attention of Cosby's lawyers. Cosby's representatives sent Roiland and Channel 101's admin Dan Harmon a cease and desist order, which effectively ended the series. Although only 4 episodes were officially made before the cease and desist, an unofficial 5th episode was produced where Cosby's lawyer performed sexual acts on Bill Cosby. The 4th episode of the Cosby's miniseries shows a cable box that can receive transmissions from anywhere in the universe. This idea was adapted into the interdimensional cable box first seen in the Rick and Morty episode Rick's Minutes. A few years after the events of House of Cosby's, Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland collaborated on another, shorter-lived series called Acceptable TV. Specifically, they made a comedy sketch series called Mr. Sprinkles, which ran as one of several sketches in each episode. The show was littered with Roiland and Harmon's offbeat sense of humor, and even includes 2 voices which sound strangely similar to Rick and Morty.
You know what she said to me?
Oh, Reggie, what'd she say, man?
I'll tell you what she said.
Unfortunately, Acceptable TV only ran for 1 season. Interestingly, the name Rick Sanchez was used in Acceptable TV long before Rick and Morty. The duo went their separate ways soon after. Harmon would go on to create the highly popular sitcom Community and prioritized his work on the show for several seasons. Several years later, Roiland was contacted by Harmon, who had been asked to create something for Adult Swim. Roiland showed Harmon the pilot and he loved it. Later, after reworking the concept and changing some obviously infringing character names, the idea became the show we know today. One question that creators are often asked relates to the origin of the theme song and the scene shown in the opening sequence. In an interview with the website TV Over Mind, Roiland said that while planning the theme song with composer Ryan Elder, he stumbled upon the idea of combining 2 popular theme songs. He envisioned a mashup between the themes of Doctor Who and the early 2000s science fiction series Farscape, which is evident in the final theme for the show. This song, however, wasn't originally made for Rick and Morty. It was made for another pilot Roiland had produced in 2012 called Dog World. The pilot had humans transported to another dimension where dogs ruled the world and kept humans as their pets, similar to the premise of the Rick and Morty episode Lawnmower Dog. As for the clips that played during the opening sequence, Roiland revealed that all of the scenes were real things which could appear at some point in an episode. He later clarified that this didn't necessarily mean that those episodes would appear soon, and that some of them could take much longer than others to appear. The show's voice recording also has several interesting tidbits. Rick's habit of breaking up lines and words with burps is one of his most notable character traits. In an interview with the Pointless podcast, Roiland stated that these burp takes are usually the last lines recorded while making an episode. Roiland usually drinks light beer and water to summon these belches, and waits for the right time to speak his lines. Because of this sit and wait approach, recording can be a lengthy process, and instead of recording short clips, the entire session is recorded to make sure they capture the right moment. Interestingly, the lighthouse chief in the episode Look Who's Purging Now was originally voiced by Dan Harmon. During a late-night meeting, Roiland convinced Harmon to record some jokes he was riffing in the character's voice. The results of the recording were, as Roiland put it, just gold. However, the track was too long to use in the scene. Roiland lamented the idea of cutting 4 minutes out of the recording and asked writer Ryan Ridley to do another, faster recording that would fit the scene. The character Mr. Jellybean, who appears in the episode Me Seeks and Destroy, bears a striking resemblance to another animated creation by Roiland. Crumply Crumplestein is the main character of a short named Unbelievable Tales, and aside from his physical appearance, he shares a strange inferred hobby with Mr. Jellybean: criminal activity involving children. Regarding the extremely dark nature of the animation, Roiland commented, "At this point in time, all I wanted to do was listen to an audience freak out. So I took this great idea about a creepy kid show host who was kidnapping kids and just went balls out." In another experiment with the audience, Adult Swim began uploading scenes from the then unreleased episode Rick's Minutes to Instagram. The catch was that each scene was only 15 seconds long, the maximum allowed by the website at the time. The episode consisted of 109 of these 15-second scenes, and the clips were uploaded in reverse order, meaning viewers had to wait for the complete set to be uploaded before they could view the episode from start to finish. Despite these downsides, the episode was uploaded in its entirety by early Friday, and especially enthusiastic fans didn't have to wait until the following Monday to get their fix. There was another promotion of sorts in the works, but this one didn't see the light of day. At one point in time, Roiland was contracted to do several commercials for the fast food chain Subway. These commercials mostly revolved around the idea of Morty excitedly claiming that he was the new Jared, and several recordings of the commercials were in the works. However, in the months running up to the commercial's release, Subway cut ties with spokesman Jared Fogle due to his arrest. Their focus on Fogle resulted in the commercials being discontinued. According to Roiland, they were split up into 8 different flash drives, half of which have since been lost. Although they avoided this controversy, the show's creators aren't ones to shy away from reality. According to Dan Harmon, the uncertain nature of Beth and Jerry's relationship is an attempt at portraying a more realistic marriage. Harmon commented on the couple, saying, "Jerry and Beth's dysfunctional relationship is based on the idea that when we watch media, the focus on marriage is always whether or not it's going to work, and we tell stories that either resolve or don't. But most people in this room, I imagine, grew up with parents who were, and still are, constantly on the brink of divorce." At a San Diego Comic-Con panel in 2015, comedian Brian Quinn recounted a night he spent with Justin Roiland. Quinn and Roiland decided to go to a strip club in New York City and have some fun, but Roiland didn't bring any money. To coerce the strippers into giving him a free dance, Roiland began talking in the voices of Rick and Morty, hoping the girls would recognize them from the show. And surprisingly, the plan worked. According to Quinn, it was just like being at a strip club with Rick and Morty, which is as amazing as it sounds and is the most genius thing I've ever seen inside or outside of an adult establishment. Because he didn't bring any money, he found girls who were fans of the show and he tipped them in sketches of Rick and Morty. Roiland added really shitty, drunken off-model drawings of Rick and Morty. If you want more cartoon facts, check out the Did You Know Movies video on SpongeBob SquarePants. And if you liked this video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And hi, my name's Lee, I'm a human speaky box. I do case studies, video essays, and retrospectives over on Arcadia. You should go check it out. I'm gonna stop talking now.